T1138 here, and I would like to thank you for joining me for this week's Top 3 Tuesday. We had a few people do video responses last week, and they were X1, I see 1X, Emojo1990, I like over 80,000 pies, Ecstatic X, Lagaya Rasaru, Sega and more, Hooniverse Review, I see what you did there, very clever, Kit171, Pandar3X, Michael B. the Game Genie, Willgram13, and X Game Storm X are going to be on this page, which will be linked down below in the description. Electric Adventures also did do a video response. He did a combo response to this in one of Long Boys Place 1975's videos. It will not be on this page, but go to his channel and check it out. You may see some other things there you like. You may even decide you want to subscribe because he's just that cool. Now, thank you very much to those of you who did do video responses and those of you who left comments. I like going through them. I really enjoy seeing what other people think about these things. And I'm sure that RPG Machine 86 does as well, if he hasn't told you so already himself. This week, we have another really cool YouTuber giving us our question, and he is an American gamer living in Japan. Pretty cool dude. He goes out and he checks out all the video game stores in Japan, and he usually shoots video while he's there. So, in any case, I will let him introduce himself to you. Here he is.
Hello everybody, KidShoryuken here, but you can feel free to call me Jim, and I'm very happy to be doing an installment of Top 3 Tuesdays for Mr. Ed T1138, so awesome. Anyway, let's get to my question. Now, as some of you may know, if you subscribe to me or watch me or not, I currently live in Japan, the motherland for us retro gaming types, but that wasn't always the case. See, I too was a young man who lived back in the United States, and I had many, many dreams of beautiful imported games, and at the time did not have the means or the money to get them. And when I eventually got into collecting retro systems, started getting an interest in imports and things like that, there were just a whole slew of things, a whole world of games out there that I just desperately wanted. And so I guess my question to all of you is, what are your 3 most desired imports? What never made it to your neck of the woods? And if you are a collector of imports, what are your 3 favorites? Now my answer to this question is actually going to be 3 things I own now, but I would have killed to have had when I was a kid living back in the States. Now, all 3 of them are going to be systems, because aren't systems the gateways to games? They are. Okay, anyway. So 3, and this is in no real particular order, but first up is this fella right here. Now this is a Japanese Sega Saturn, which at the time, I didn't have any of those action replay cards. I didn't have anything like that at all, but what I did have was a whole lot of people buzzing in my ear about all the great games that were coming out for this system that were also coming out on PlayStation at the same time, all these Capcom games. I was a huge fan of Capcom, still am despite some of their recent flubs. But basically games, Street Fighter games and Versus games and Mega Man, I mean you name it, everybody was telling me, the Sega Saturn version is definitely better. Like, oh really? Well that's awesome, but I haven't seen them anywhere. Oh, that's because they only came out in Japan. Awesome. So, yeah, I really wanted to get my hands on a Japanese Saturn just because I had heard so many great games came out for this baby that didn't come out in the States, particularly a lot of Capcom games. Moving right along, another system I would have killed to have had when I was a youngin' is one of these, a Japanese PlayStation. Now, I eventually did get my stateside PlayStation modded, and I was only able to get my hands on 3 imported games, and they were all Dragon Ball Z games, which pretty much sucked. But anyway, what made me really, really want a Japanese PlayStation is because back in the day, if any of you remember the PlayStation Underground Jam Packs, they would come out once a quarter, and they would have a whole slew of demos and other things that you could try out in videos and all that kind of stuff. And there was always a section of the disc where it was imports. You could try out an import game, a nice quick little demo, and those games were always so cool, always so unique and fun. And that always really impressed me. I always thought there was so much cool stuff out there for the PlayStation I would never get my hands on. Then one in particular had a video on the Pocket Station, where they were showing off the Pocket Station and how you could use it with Street Fighter Alpha 3, you know, building up your characters and stuff like that. And we never got the Pocket Station either. All that kind of shit just made me really, really want one of these bad boys. And so now I have one, and I'm a happy camper. Alright, and lastly, my other most desired thing would have been one of these. This is a PC Engine Duo R. Now before I started collecting, I had never even heard of a TurboGrafx 16 or anything else that went with it. So when I started buying online and stuff like that when I was like 18 or something, spending all of my hard-earned money, I learned about the PC Engine and PC Engine CD, and I mean, it was amazing, awesome, discovering this entirely new system with all these, you know, just great games for it. It was like a retro collector's dream, and they were expensive as hell. The games were expensive as hell, and it only came out in Japan, and which is a real shame. So this was definitely my most desired import system ever. I mean, when I got here, it was still my most desired system, just because it plays HuCard games, it plays PC Engine CD games. You don't need any kind of system cards or anything. It's just ready to go. You have a massive library of games available to you now, and a massive library of really good games. So that's important. So anyway, these would have been my 3 most desired imports when I was a young man. I still am a young man. Anyway, so yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys, and I'm sure Ed would too. What are your most desired imports, or what are your 3 favorite imports that you own? Either or. So anyway, this is Jim, KidShoryuken, signing off and saying, yeah, fucking thanks for watching. Keep gaming.
Well, I had to give this one actually quite a bit of thought, because I am not the kind of person that wants to collect a bunch of imported video game systems. I have over 60 different video game systems, probably 45 unique systems, and I've only got one imported system, and it is the Neo Geo CD from Japan. The only reason I have this is because I wanted to play Neo Geo games, but I couldn't afford an AES, because the AESs at the time were double plus what these cost. Although these are now getting to the point where it doesn't really make much sense to buy them anymore. They're almost the same as an AES. But anyway, I have this thing, and I don't consider it an import because I've put a, you know, region switch in it so that I can switch everything so that it'll play in English. I do have a number of imported Neo Geo CD games, and I play them all so that I can read English. So, I don't know, not even really an import system to me. For all intents and purposes, it is now an American Neo Geo CD. So, I don't know. When I started thinking about it, I started thinking about odd systems. Systems that were, I don't know, unique in some way or other. And I came up with 3 that I would actually like to have. They're ridiculously expensive, but if I came across them, I would love to have them. Jim, feel free to buy any of these and ship them to me. I wouldn't stop you. Number 3 on my list, this is going to be a mouthful. I saw a picture of this thing one time, and I couldn't believe it was real, but it's the Sega Dreamcast Divers 2000 CX1. I think that is correct. It is this big blue Apple-looking computer type thing. I can't even describe it. I'll just put a picture over here, maybe 2 pictures, because you got to see it from the front and you got to see it from the side. But it's this hideous blue box with antenna and flashing lights on the side, and it plays Sega Dreamcast games. It's also a television and who knows what. From what I read up on it, I couldn't remember what it was called. I had to look the thing up before I shot this video because I can't remember that name. But from what I read on it briefly, it was released as sort of a Millennium Special Edition of the Sega Dreamcast. Not many of them were made. From what it said in there, there's like 200 of them total released. So the chances of me ever even seeing one of these things is remote. Number 2, I'm going to go with the Atari 2800. The Atari 2800 is the Japanese version of the Atari 2600, And it is, I don't know, when I look at it, it sort of reminds me of a smaller black Atari 7800. It's got that same kind of shape to it. Really slick looking, really neat. It was released over here, I think, as a Sears Telegames Model 2 or something. I don't remember what it was called. But, yeah, anyway, I like the way it looks. I have a number of different variations on the Atari 2600. My favorite one is actually the Coleco Gemini, which is an Atari 2600 clone. And the 2800 is similar to that, although even cooler looking. So, yeah, the Atari 2800 would be number 2. And then number 1 would be the SC3000 by Sega. Now, I don't know. I've never really wanted an SG1000, which is, well, actually, I kind of do. But I would rather have this. The SC3000 is an 8-bit computer made by Sega. It plays all of the SG-1000 games, and then it also does, you know, basic programming, and I'm sure that it plays, you know, other computer games as well. So, yeah, the SC3000, 8-bit Sega home computer. I don't think I need to say anything other than that. I like the way it looks. I even like the little membrane chiclet keyboard that came out on the first model. It's black, and then it has these cute little raised chiclet keys, and I don't know. The thing looks fantastic. I would love to have that. So I did. I came up with 3 import systems that I would love to own. And again, Jim, please feel free to send any one of them to me. I don't mind. Anyway, Jim, KidShoryuken, is a great guy. You should check out his channel. You should watch some of his videos. Subscribe to him if you like him. I'm sure you will. He's a great guy, good part of the video gaming community here on YouTube. And, yeah, entertaining to boot. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Crap. Crap. I was tired of this game anyway. Hey, I bet you were wondering where I got this Game Chasers t-shirt. Well, I have you know, this was hand-packed by Jay himself and shipped directly to my front door. If you want to know how to get this, there will be a link down below to a video, and in that video, it will tell you exactly where to go and what to do to get one of your very own for the low, low price of whatever the hell they're selling it for now. Check it out.